how the Jesuits handled my IRAs, because it establishes their cruel arrogance against all those who oppose them and their aggressive, sneaky, and brazen behavior, so that no one who opposes the Jesuit order stands a chance except for divine intervention. Their actions and breach of my contract with them over the IRAs could very well have killed and starved me. And if not for Jesus' protection, I'm sure I would not be here now talking with you all. The trickery, entrapment, and evasiveness with my IRAs are the same methods they have used in the treaty I signed with Zack Knight. They want to drive to death their point that I breached their contract with Zack Knight, even though the part in the signature line was entrapment, and I was not aware of what was in that signature line, and it most certainly does not represent my true feelings. Why would I want to make love to an IRA embezzler who almost cost me my life and forced me to file for bankruptcy in 2002 and have made it their life goal to keep my husband Brent Spiner from me, stealing his semen and impregnating Jesuit women Lori McBride and all her clones to entrap him against me? Entrapment. Entrapment all over the place. Entrapment is the Jesuit specialty. They rape Brent Spiner as part of their conspiracy to kill or destroy me. And they think I would want to love the leader of such a treacherous and violent organization? I will come back at them with the IRA contract which they have breached with me, and that I was supposed to receive all the money paid into my IRAs in 2002 when I liquidated all the shares in my IRAs, and I only received less than half of the $11,000 paid into my IRAs in the 1990s. When I liquidated them in 2002, Jesuits embezzled approximately $6,000. Only a Zack Knight would be brazen enough to steal IRA proceeds and falsify all documents related to the theft, even sneaking into my apartment to switch out legal documents with counterfeits to cover their crimes against me. They have not honored their contract with me. That was a Jesuit company in regard to the IRAs, and this has been since 2002. So because it was a Jesuit company that managed my IRAs, and they breached their contract with me, I can state that this breach is very much on their side, because I'm still waiting to get all the money I paid into my IRAs. That contract has been breached. I am certain when I signed that contract with the IRAs that it stated that when I decided to liquidate all of my shares that I would get all of the money paid into the account. If I hadn't withdrawn anything, it was, you don't lose what you put into an IRA because of the stock market. You only lose your interest. If that's the case, then nobody's going to invest in IRAs if you can lose what you pay into an IRA. The Jesuit criminals behind the embezzlement of my IRA funds need to be arrested for embezzlement, forgery, attempted murder, and other crimes related to my IRAs. Zack Knight, as head of the Jesuits, is perhaps the most guilty of all. His actions in striving to embezzle me again, using sex as his weapon, establishes firmly that he is a criminal. He would have been better off not to force this matter in the signature line. His actions clearly indicate his criminal intent, which therefore makes the entire contract null and void. It's like a repeat of embezzlement like he did to me with my IRAs, but this time it's my body he wants to embezzle. He has already embezzled my finances, my lovers, my husband Brent Spiner, and my Savior Jesus Christ. Not satisfied, he strives to make his rape and embezzlement of my body legal so that he can rape me with the blessings of the law and suffer no consequences. I do believe that a contract does not need to be honored if one of the parties to a contract is a criminal, because Zack Knight has been criminal towards me my entire life, and the evidence for this is glaring with the IRA conspiracy, which Zack cooperated with as head of the Jesuits. I do not have to honor a contract with a criminal. Zack Knight has already brain raped me. He has stolen so much money from me, it isn't even funny. The evidence for his crimes are brazen in the IRA incidents, and this is indicative of further crimes because it's obvious that this conspiracy runs deep and obsessive over a period of decades. Because one of the parties to this contract, Zack Knight, is a criminal, I, the victim of this criminal, do not need to honor a contract with a criminal. Because Zack Knight is a criminal, as the head of the Jesuit order that has committed volumes of crimes against me, with brazen evidence in the IRA incidents, which I have on my other video called Antichrist Zack Knight, Master Swindler. I mean, volumes of crimes against me with brazen evidence in the IRA incidents in the part of the contract that states that I secretly desire Zack to make love. That part of that treaty does not have a legal purpose. I allege that if I was forced to make love to Zack Knight, that my life would be in danger, and he would use his sex to destroy and rape me over and over to increase his power at my expense. His criminal intent against me can be established by how he, as leader of the Jesuits, has ordered his Jesuits to swindle thousands of dollars from my IRAs, and this embezzlement extends to those who truly care about me, Brent Spiner and Vladimir Putin, for instance, and who have saved my life and finances against Zack and the Jesuits the best they can. He embezzles them with Jesuit women who rape them and defame their characters before the world to create a blockade between myself and my men, making it impossible for those who truly love me to safely marry me. If not for Jesuit interference, Brent Spiner would be my full husband at this time. I have been embezzled of a husband, my finances, my health, and not satisfied. This criminal now desires my soul and body in the form of legal rape. It is clear that Zack Knight is a criminal, and his motives for all he wants from me are criminal. Therefore, my contract with Zack Knight is void, because the contract does not have a legal purpose, because it strives to give my rapist and embezzler permission to continue his rape and embezzlement under the blessings of the law. If I am forced to honor this illegal contract made with a criminal, then the law is a farce. Therefore, this contract is not binding, because one of the parties is a criminal against me. Therefore, the contract does not have a legal purpose. Next, Zack Knight is guilty of concealment of material facts in this contract. He has failed to disclose a material fact, that is, that he has raped my body in the past, brain-to-brain rape, and has raped and embezzled my finances previous to writing this contract. This is a material fact because it establishes his criminal motive for wanting that contract with me in the first place, where he can have permission to legally rape me. Why would I be obligated to make love to my rapist and embezzler? Further, we should reinstate conspiracy law into these proceedings once we establish that this entire contract is void, because the part of the contract in the signature line does not have a legal purpose, because one of the parties to this contract is a criminal, Zack Knight. This man is a criminal against me. A contract cannot be valid if it does not have a legal purpose. Zack Knight's insistence that we honor the part of the contract which clearly indicates his criminal intent makes the entire contract null and void. We are no longer obligated to honor any of this contract anymore. It does not have a legal purpose, because Zack insists that the embedded part, which is the criminal part, in the signature line is a part of the contract. This establishes criminal intent in light of his past crimes against me. Nobody should be forced to make a contract with a criminal, giving them permission to continue their crimes. I would like to see Zack Knight make a sworn statement under lie computer 666 lie detection that he does not in any way support the actions of any criminal King James only people who have committed crimes against me in the past months. If he fails this, we have more proof that his contract with me does not have legal purpose, because his current followers are committing crimes against me. Unfortunately, Zack Knight's heroic behavior in our battle with the Gail android was out of character. I can't tell you how disappointed I am about this. Apparently, it was a deathbed desperation prayer, only said to stay alive, but not meant from the heart. Now that his life is no longer in danger, and he thinks he stands a chance to oust Jesus, he is back at his old game. He had no choice but to be good in our battle with the Gail android, and in an out-of-character moment, decided to betray his true self and sacrifice himself and the Jesuits to save the world. In that fleeting moment of greatness, I loved him in that moment because I am a forgiving person, even when the crimes against me have been vast, and even when they could have killed me. However, in that forgiveness, I felt no sexual attraction, just an admiration for an out-of-character moment of greatness. In our epic battle with the Gail android, I could even feel some forgiveness for Satan. That's how epic that battle was. But Satan's moment was a performance, like Zack's. For if that moment was real, Zack and Satan would never force himself on me. Love never forces itself on another. It does not rape. It gives its object freedom. The greatest test of character is always in how we treat Jesus Christ. For no greater person ever existed than Jesus Christ, who as a perfect being died on the cross for all our sins. When Zack showed up to rape me, Jesus had to intervene. He tried to talk Zack down, but Zack just flipped his middle finger at Jesus and tried to kick Jesus in the balls. Jesus and Zack fought over me for hours in my room. I didn't see them, but Brent and Terrance could see them in my room on my Skype. In fact, I walked right through Jesus one time as he was leaning against my dresser babysitting Zack Knight, who was sulking about the room because Jesus was blocking him from raping me. Zack tried to punch Jesus, and Jesus held him back with his hand on Zack's forehead so that Zack was only punching air. Zack, it's not worth it. Satan is full of lies. It breaks my heart that you are going into the lake of fire. I can save you. But Zack never listens to Jesus. He is, after all, the Antichrist. Zack called me a bitch several times while he was trying to rape me. And when I scolded him for shooting birdies at Jesus, he shot Jesus two more birdies with both his middle fingers. Zack laughed when I ordered a new webcam. That's what he told us. Apparently, he planned to use it to get nudes of me. Jesus said I need to cancel the order and that he can use Vladimir Putin to fix my current webcam. Jesus Christ shows up to beat up Zack Knight when Zack tries to brain rape me. He shoots lightning bolts at him like I do. But he continues to try to brain rape me, and he does sometimes. He stuck his penis in my mouth, and I bit it in half. And I shoot lightning bolts at him, and I cut off his body parts to defend myself against him. But he has the satanic ability to grow his body parts back, and this masochistic desire to have me, enjoying the pain that I give him while he tries to rape me, in his attempts to oust Jesus from power and take his place. Now that he doesn't need to be good, he's no longer interested in it. Satan only behaved himself because he met his match with the Gail android. He thinks we can't beat him, so goodness no longer interests him. He changes his clothes not out of conviction, but out of expediency. Now there's no need for goodness, so he's lost interest in it. His goodness isn't from the depths of his soul like Jesus' goodness is. It's just clothing he wears to create an impression, easily discarded and thrown out when no longer needed. I love Jesus Christ and should not be forced into a contract to make love to the devil. If this contract is enforced, all of heaven will be outraged, and our laws will be a farce.